You think you're ready for a Rottweiler? That's what almost every owner believes on the first day. They see the power, the loyalty, the reputation. They imagine a fearless protector at their side and a gentle giant in their home. But here's the truth. For many, that dream turns into regret. And by the time they realize it, it's already too late to fix. So why does this happen? Why do so many people who love the idea of a Rottweiler end up overwhelmed by the reality? By the end of this video, you'll understand the mistakes most owners make, the reasons regret sets in, and the one trait that breaks more Rottweiler owners than anything else. It starts with the image. The internet is filled with videos of Rottweilers cuddling babies, playing with kids, protecting families. People see that and think, that's the dog for me, gentle, loyal, perfect. But what they don't see is the other side. The sleepless nights, the constant training, the stubborn challenges, and the explosive strength hidden behind that calm exterior. The first wave of regret begins in puppyhood. Rottweiler puppies look like stuffed bears, round faces, floppy ears, clumsy paws. But inside that adorable frame is raw power waiting to be unleashed. The nipping is stronger, the chewing is more destructive, the play is more physical. And unlike other breeds, the Rottweiler doesn't outgrow intensity, it grows into it. Owners laugh off the early chaos. He'll settle down when he grows up. But here's the reality. Rottweilers don't settle. They sharpen. Fast forward a year. That cuddly puppy is now 100 pounds of muscle with jaws strong enough to crush bone. Suddenly, what felt like play feels like danger. That's when the second wave of regret hits. When owners realize the dog in their house isn't just a companion, it's a force. And unless that force is trained, structured, and respected, it begins to control the household. The rules of the home shift. Furniture is chewed, doors are scratched, strangers can't visit, and walks become battles of strength instead of bonding. Ask yourself, what happens when a dog bred for guarding cattle and protecting soldiers decides it's the leader of your house? What happens when it sees itself as protector, not pet? That's the moment owners realize they've lost control. And getting it back isn't easy, because the Rottweiler doesn't hand over leadership. You have to earn it. Most owners can't. That's why shelters fill with surrendered Rottweilers every year. Not because the dogs were bad, but because people weren't ready. Open loop. Before this video ends, you'll hear the heartbreaking story of one family who believed in the gentle giant myth, and how their regret cost them everything. But first, let's talk about the testing stage every Rottweiler puts its owner through. Every Rottweiler at some point will challenge your authority. Not out of malice, not out of aggression, but out of instinct. It might ignore your command just to see if you enforce it. It might guard a toy or block a doorway. It might test your boundaries again and again. For some owners, this stage feels like rebellion, but it isn't. It's the Rottweiler asking the most important question. Are you strong enough to lead me? When the answer is no, regret sets in fast. Because a Rottweiler without leadership doesn't become passive, it becomes dominant. It decides who enters the home. It decides which spaces are safe. It decides how much freedom your family gets. Suddenly, you're not the owner, you're the guest. And once that dynamic sets in, most families never recover. That's when the third wave of regret strikes, when the Rottweiler becomes more of a liability than a companion. Here's the story I promised. A family adopted a Rottweiler puppy for their kids, charmed by its playful energy and protective instincts. At first, everything seemed perfect. The dog was affectionate, loyal, always by their side. But as the months went on, the family gave less structure, skipped training, and let the dog figure things out. By 2 years old, the Rottweiler was guarding the kids so fiercely it wouldn't let their friends come over. It blocked the doorway when strangers visited. It snapped at the babysitter. The parents realized they were no longer in control. Tearfully, they surrendered the dog to a rescue, regretting not the dog itself, but their own failure to rise to the challenge. So why do a few owners succeed when most fail? What separates regret from pride? It's not brute strength. It's not dominance. It's not even experience. It's consistency. The ones who succeed with Rottweilers are the ones who never slack, never lower the standard, never forget the responsibility. They train daily. They provide structure. They lead calmly and confidently. And because of that, their Rottweilers respect them, not out of fear, but out of trust. Close the loop. The one trait that breaks more owners than anything else is the Rottweiler's intensity. Not just physical intensity, but emotional. The way it guards, the way it bonds, the way it tests. Everything it does with total commitment. For people who expected a calm, easy family pet, that intensity feels overwhelming. It feels like regret, and by the time they realize it, the damage is already done. So here's the final question. Could you handle the truth of the Rottweiler? Could you live with a partner that doesn't just love you, but challenges you every single day? Or would you, like so many others, end up with regret? Too late to fix? Because the Rottweiler doesn't adapt to you, you adapt to it. And that's why for every success story, there are countless tales of heartbreak.